Hi, Aries. This is Jeffrey. This is Ripecolor. This is your reading for December 11th through the 18th, 2022. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, press the bell for notifications. I'm having a sale on readings as well as a sale on scarves through December 15th. The information is on my community page, and I'll have links below. Give yourself, not give, allow. Allow yourself room to grow. Allow yourself room to grow. It's almost, you know what it feels like, what it felt like was, initially shuffling. It feels like, you're a light, right? But it's like you're kind of your light is limited on both sides. And it feels like it's just a mental thing or an emotional thing. It's like, I don't have to have this. Like, this is, I'm going to part. It's almost like there's a curtain in front of you, and it's like a curtain on like one of those big stages, like that just go like when you push it, it just goes on forever. A little bit like that, when it has those metal beads or whatever, and it just completely opens. And I feel like it's like if you, in your mind's eye or in your heart, say, I'm limiting myself. I need. It's not even limiting myself. It's like allow yourself to expand. Allow maybe your dream or your understanding to be bigger and to be more, I don't know, open to opportunity, open to change, something like that. It's not a bad message at all. Not a bad message at all. It's almost like, how when the sun is rising, I mean, I only watch one video, but like that first glimmer of light comes and you're like, oh, that's cool, and then the sun is like, oh, it just brightens up everything. It's like that. Oh, okay. Move those mountains. I'm shuffling backwards because warped the cards. Hmm. All right. So the Seven of Wands is about confidence, and it's about having the high ground, being in a good position, but he's really defensive. He's like super defensive. And, maybe you're defending, I feel like you're defending yourself from something that is kind of, you don't have to worry about. It's like, you don't really have to, you have the high ground. You don't really need to worry about it. It's like, sometimes it's like, oh, what if this and what if that, or, this one said that. And it's like, it doesn't really matter. You have the high ground. You're in a good position. It doesn't really, like you're the sun. Like if I'm talking about like back to the original metaphor, you're the sun. So, you're going to rise and shine on everything. Everything's going to be a lit. It doesn't really matter whether there's a mountain or a building or whatever. And then I have the Two of Swords, and the Two of Swords is such a, I always say, it's such an interesting card. I say that every freaking card. The Two of Swords to me is about intuition, but the Two of Swords is also about, there's an energy in the Two of Swords of waiting. There's an energy of like, I'm blindfolded and I have my little swords, which are like sort of antennae to pick up like instinctual, and what's in the air. It's sort of like oh, it's going to rain, a little bit like that. It's like, and I'm waiting to like receive the inspiration or receive the vision, something to that effect. And then I have the King of Cups who sits and listens. I mean, that's his job. I mean, I think he has more than one job. I mean, I've really like to meet him in person one day. I bet if I went into a meditation, I could meet him in person. That'd be really interesting. Since he's the, I'm not going to make a stupid joke. Okay. I wonder what he would sound like. All right. Yeah, the King of Cups, you know, is the diplomat. And so he has to listen really intently. And he has tremendous compassion. He's listening with his heart. He listens with his heart. Yeah. And your heart says, I have a little gift for you. I have love for you. I have compassion for you. I have intuition for you. And you know what, also? There might be a trip. There might be you're going somewhere because I have a lot of like that. It's funny because a trip could be a physical trip, right? You know, I'm going across town, or I'm going to another state or another country or another city or whatever. But a trip sometimes also can be I'm going to a new state emotionally. That's what I'm getting. I have all this water and then the desert comes up. It's like, really? Um, so it's my second page. Pages are young. They have an energy of use. And pages have this energy of, I don't know, new ideas springing up, new opportunities, new, but an inkling of it. It's like just around the corner. It's like, it's sort of small. It's a little bit small, right? It's a little bit like, it's like when you first light the candle. It's just beginning to twinkle. It hasn't really taken over the candle yet. It hasn't really, it's like, you know how sometimes a candle, it's sort of burning and it's like, I have to watch it to make sure it's actually going to burn, a little bit like that. And I feel like that, pertaining to what I said in the beginning, is sort of a little bit of that. And you're feeling a little bit defensive. And it's like, well, I really want to light this candle. I really want to like try something new. I really have an inkling. And there's a, like a little, it really isn't like you, Aries. It's a little bit like unsure, a little bit like, mm, you know, it's almost like you're on the team, right? And you've never really been, you always sit on the bench. And now you're getting closer and closer to being called. And now that you're called, like the coach says, yeah, we need you in the game. Not that I've ever played sports, but this is my metaphor. You're a little bit like apprehensive, a little bit. And your soul is saying, I got you. We didn't put you on the bench. We didn't put you the second or third on the bench as opposed to the 15th on the bench for no reason. I got you. You're going to be fine. You know, yeah, okay. So you might feel a little unsure and a little bit, I don't know, apprehensive, but do it anyway. I mean, you're an Aries. It's not. You're an Aries. Maybe because Mars is retrograde, it's a little bit weird, right? Yeah. You know what I'm getting? Towards something you could be proud of. Towards something actually that you could be proud of. And it's sometimes, you know, what's easy for everybody else is not easy for you or for me or for anybody else, right? Certain people, um, there are certain, there's always something that's not easy for the individual. And everyone's like, oh, it's so easy. Oh, it's so easy. But if you've never done it before and you're a little bit like maybe frightened of it or a little apprehensive and you don't want to fall flat on your face and, whatever, it's sort of like, it's easy for you, but I don't know. I don't know. But I feel like if you step into it, and I think you want to step into it, then, you could really say, oh, I did that. Oh, I actually did that. Might not have been perfect, but I showed up for it and I showed up well and I did pretty good. I did pretty good. And, if it's interesting or it makes your heart sing, then you do it again, and then you do it again, and then you're like, yeah, all right, I got this. I got this. And I feel like it's something that you're going to have pride in yourself in a good way, not in a arrogant way, in a sort of, pat yourself on the back kind of way. Yeah, because you're going to a new place in your head. You're not relying on the past. You're going, the past is the past, and you're going to a new place in your head. It's almost, what I got just this moment. It's like once you make that decision to shine your light, to open yourself up, like I said earlier, and to like take the chance and do something, even though you've never done it before, or even though it's challenging, or even though you're scared or whatever. It's sort of like once you open that up, the turbulence is all in your head. The turbulence is all in your head. And once that boat gets going, it's like, oh, actually, it's pretty calm out here. It's actually kind of calm out here. Right. But it's sometimes in here, it's like, and then you get there, it's like, there's no big deal. There's no big deal. Yeah. And you'll be supported. You'll be supported. And it's going to also give you a sense of freedom. It's going to give you a sense of freedom. You know what I just got? So I don't drive, right? I don't even know how to drive. I'm 59, meanwhile, and I don't know how to drive. And, part of me, I mean, look, I don't want a car. I don't want the responsibility. I don't want to pay the money, la, 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 la. And the traffic in Mexico City is worse than the traffic in New York. It's like, this is how fast they move, kind of all day. And nobody pays traffic law. Don't ask. And, but part of me, to be honest, is sort of like, I wouldn't even know where to begin. I'm a little like, a little scary, a little like, right? But sometimes we have to meet ourselves and say, okay, there's my fear, or here's my fear. And it's like, hey, fear, we're going on a job interview. Can you, since you're there, might as well help me with my tie or hold the briefcase. I know you're there, so I acknowledge you. So hold the briefcase. Here we go. Sometimes we have to step into it in order to grow, in order to, open the door to the closet and realize like the monster was like this big. It doesn't even have any teeth. Sounds really, really scary. But it's almost like a cartoon, right? You open it, it's like, you think it's like T-Rex, and it's like, it's like a toy soldier, like a plastic one that doesn't even have a gun. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm getting. Time to like expand. It'll lead to new opportunities. It'll lead to new opportunities. There's a lot to be said for growing our self-confidence. And, even if somebody is confident, there's always an area or two or I don't know, like an Achilles heel in a way that's sort of like, yeah, I'm really good at all that. And then, it's almost like Mr. Man. And, you go to the beach, it's like, well, I'm scared of the water. He can lift the Volkswagen, but he's scared of the water. Right? A little bit of that. I don't know how to say it. All right, let me show you the cards. You're feeling a little defensive, but you're just going to sit and listen and wait for the opportunity to really, really trust your intuition and to be really compassionate with yourself, to heal yourself, and to take on a new opportunity that's full of love. It is gets you in touch with your own sense of self, where you're admired and loved and supported. The two sixes, by the way. So persevere out of your negative thinking into a more tranquil place, and then you can actually build something that will last. Really interesting little reading. I'm sort of taking my time because it's a long story, but I'm taking my time this week. I'm just taking it, just feels right. Some weeks it doesn't feel right. Some weeks it's like, just get it out. But this week it feels like, all right. So blessings. If you want a reading till the 15th, it's on sale, or a scarf, or both. Yeah, you can buy both. All right. See you soon. Bye.